So hi everybody and welcome back to my channel. I'm Rebecca from Libra Light, and today we're getting to talk to the wonderful Katie Quinn, who had an Akashic record reading from me. So we're going to catch up with her and see how she's getting on since that reading. But first of all, Katie, do you want to tell everybody a bit about yourself?
Yes, my name is Katie Quinn and I am a medium. And I recently just started teaching mediumship, and I love to connect to loved ones and give important messages to people and to be the in-between person between the worlds. And it gives me great joy and lots of healing that goes along with it. So I'm thrilled to be able to offer services like this to people because it's needed when they're in grief.
Absolutely. And if people that are watching this go to the description in the video, you can find out how you can connect with Katie and find out more about her. So going to your Akashic reading, you were your reading blew my mind, as I'm sure it did for you as well. And the main reason for that is when I looked at your cosmic blueprint, nearly all of it showed me that as a soul, you have spent most of your time in Alpha Draconis, and with being with reptilian beings, and you yourself have been a reptilian being. And when people hear those words, they just naturally kind of go, "Oh, what?" Because they get such a bad rep in the spiritual community, don't they? And
They
I guess
do.
we're here today to squash that bad rep that they get. And I just wanted for the viewers who aren't aware of Alpha Draconis and the Draconians, just to tell them a bit about it, and then we'll dig in to your reading. But there's basically two types of Draconian starseed, but everybody just automatically goes to the thought, oh, they're all dark and negative. But there are two types of Draconian starseed, and they are from the constellation of Draco, the Draco constellation. And Draco does mean dragon in Latin for those that are watching. But yes, it came up as your main cosmic blueprint. And when we looked at the kind of, and first of all, just to say, whenever I do a reading for a client, one of the things I have to check is this a positive soul? And if it's a no, I don't do the reading. I've never had one like that, yes. And it came up with you being a positive soul. And then, of course, I always look to see how many positive lives you've had. And it was a really high percentage. So you're a draconian soul who is a positive soul, just for those that are watching. And when we looked at the characteristics of a draconian, they just kind of, it was just like a big confirmation moment for you, wasn't it?
It
Uh,
was unbelievable, a big confirmation,
yeah,
because it fits my personality now
yeah,
so much so
yeah.
that I am passionate and can be fiery, but I can also be very protective, and I can be really wanting to ground in certain concepts. And it really connected my soul in a way that I have never been connected to before. And it made me feel so whole.
Mm.
And then tangible, there's a tangible thing that I can connect to in my mind as a concept that says, I am this wonderful dragon.
Yes. And when I channeled, was it your first life? Let's have a look at you to remind me. I channeled a life where you were this, I'll never forget it, this amazing draconian angel with white wings. And I saw the planet you were on with tall trees and lakes and streams. And then, oh yes, there was an image of you with your young family asleep in a tray, and your young children were kind of huddled up, wrapped in your rings, and you were all asleep on this tray. So it was a beautiful vision
Yeah.
that I saw there.
And the wings piece of it, I have never really, I know that I have wings and I stand in this position very, very much so, but I never thought of them as angel wings.
Mm.
So it's very awesome to identify as they were dragon wings.
Mm. Yeah, because you've got a big dragon link in terms of your soul print as well. What was your first oh, you were a whale. And I was just saying that earlier I'd interviewed another client, and it's on my YouTube channel, Cheryl Prince, and part of her cosmic blueprint was the Greys, another starseed race that gets a bad rep, and you both booked on the same day, but you also were both whales in your first incarnation.
So fascinating.
Another link,
Yeah.
another like wow moment there. So what was your first incarnation was whale. And yeah, I just wanted to talk a bit more about how you resonate with the draconian kind of energy, which it a draconian energy, if I can describe it's a very structured routine. You probably find you're quite an ordered person, but they're always often in leader type roles as well. So just tell everyone how that kind of resonates with you and what you're doing in your life at the moment.
Yes. So by day, I am also a chief financial officer.
Yeah.
So I am very structured in accounting. I have to I have to be very structured in my month and my year. It ties into the accounting piece of me very much so that there is a lot of structure in my life, and it has to be firm structure, because when it goes awry, the accounting goes cuckoo. So you have to stay on top of the books. You have to stay on top of the business. There's just a lot that, as far as the structure, really gets me to really know that I'm whole doing the accounting and the mediumship.
Yeah, amazing.
Yeah, so it's so fascinating, and I will cherish the knowledge for a very, very long time. It's very just made me feel so more connected, more whole, and lean more into the positive, that it's okay to be. I have been such a positive figure over the years in my life, but in my past lives and incarnations, I have always been positive. So it just says, it reinforces the positive, that it's okay to do that all the time.
Yeah, because I think sometimes people are scared to have readings like this because of what it uncovers. But I think the message here is don't be scared. Like, not all draconians are bad.
Nope.
And you're proof of that. So
Yep.
yeah, don't be scared to dig into your Akashic records.
And the more that I know about myself, the more I can go forward with the information, feeling not so disconnected. I just feel so connected to me with this information that you gave me.
So has it helped with your mediumship work? Like, since we had our session, which was June, can you believe it?
Woo!
Since then, how has it helped you progress kind of spiritually?
Well, with the dragons, it gave me permission to play with them all of the time. So they're always around my house. They're always around my clients. They're always around the spirits. I bring them in continuously, all the times, for good and bad. If I need more positivity in something, I'll bring in a dragon. If I need to cool down the negative, I'll bring in a dragon. So it definitely is. They're here. I'm immersed with them. And I really love it. I really, really love it. Some of the things that I had uncovered about the other pieces of my life is that I was an exorcist, a detective, and an engineer.
Oh yeah, these were your archetypes, weren't they? Because that's one thing I look at in the Akashic records, the top 3 archetypes. Yeah, so how did that resonate with you when I told you?
So to be an exorcist, it really ties into the mediumship, because sometimes I I have the emotion from the spirit, but also I can disconnect from it very quickly. Mm-hmm. And I think that's with my training as being an exorcist.
Mm. Yeah.
The detective work is always with both the mediumship and the accounting. I'm always on the hunt for something.
Yeah, I got a vision of you with a magnifying glass.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'm uncovering the accounting. I'm uncovering the spirits in heaven. And the engineer is just like the one that puts it all together. So it's so fascinating to have the dragon and the three archetypes to really solidify me now.
Yeah. And when I went into when I went into channel your actual lives, like I wasn't actually given any earth lives for you. It was all cosmic, wasn't it? Yes, but there was a Greek god in the Akashic records when I went in, and it was Hermes. And that totally resonated because Hermes is a messenger of the gods, and he's the inventor of speech. And when I looked at which archangel realm you'd chosen to study in when you came to this earth as a soul, your primary realm, your secondary realm was Gabriel, which is communication and the throat chakra. And so that kind of tied in with that bit. And then there was, again, I didn't see a particular life with you. This is why your reading was so fascinating. But I did see Cuba and Havana and the Cuban Revolution. It just kind of all passed by me and I saw it all. So they were kind of giving me glimpses of your earth lives, of which you've had 380, and that you've got this connection to the Greek god Hermes. So how did you feel about all of that?
It certainly gave me more permission to speak my truth, to speak my truth, to speak the spirit's truth, to speak the accounting truth. I'm so much stronger in a meeting on my CFO work because I can really have the confidence to say, here are the numbers, here's what I know, here's what I feel. Let's make some business decisions off of that.
Wow, so it's giving you more confidence in your 3D job as well as your 5D job.
Yep. And in the 5D job, I have become a teacher of mediumship. So now
I saw a photograph of you on Instagram, and I said I wish I was in the room.
Yes,
because you're in the US. You're in the US, aren't you? So you're a long way away.
Maybe Karen and I will come in and visit you.
That would be amazing. Amazing.
We would love to be in a room with you.
So would I. We could always astral travel in our dreams. We'll have to put a request in to do that.
Yeah.
Your second channeled starseed life that I did was amazing as well, because you've got Lyra as part of your cosmic blueprint. And I saw you. This was unbelievable. I remember seeing this, a feline Lyran escaping a planet in Lyra. Because if we look at the galactic history, Lyra, there was a lot of war in Lyra. It was destroyed. And you were fleeing in a boat that was being guided by a whale. And I could feel you were really traumatized here, sad and scared, and you were trying to get off planet because it was being destroyed. And the whale led you to the middle of the ocean, and a ship appeared upon which you entered. And you spent years on the ship, and it was absolutely huge. I remember it. It was like it was another planet, the ship itself. And you even had a family on the ship and set up home on a planet in the Antares system, which is another place that you've been in the universe.
Yeah.
So did you feel that? And when you heard about that, did you feel that in your soul, that trauma of trying to get off planet?
Yeah. The sense of fleeing is just a small niggle in my world of we just got to go. We just have to go. And it shows up in the last 15 years. I've moved 15 times, and it's just this like,
oh wow,
yeah. I've hit this point where I'm like, ooh, we got to go, and I don't move far, but I move, and to give myself some healing in this earthly life, and to give healing to that life has been really profound, because I can say, nope, I'm safe to stay.
Mm.
I'm safe to stay in this spot.
Yeah, this is a different life.
Yeah.
You're not in that boat. You don't have to
Yeah.
get off planet. But I imagine what's triggering to you and to a lot of people who've had past lives like that is what's happening on the planet today. You know, if we tune into all of the crap that we're being told on the news, that could trigger, oh God, I need to get off this planet because of what's happening. So, you know, it's good that you're aware of that, because you can say, no, this isn't happening. That was another life. And the clearing work I would have given you as part of this reading would have helped clear that energy.
Absolutely. Very, very profound. It all really just made me, the clearing work healed a lot of it. So it wasn't so prevalent in my everyday.
Mm.
I feel safer in my home. I feel safer being so positive. I feel connected to the dragons, and they give me so much strength. And yeah, all the aspects of my life kind of rolled up into this meeting and said, here you go, here are all the reasons why.
Mm.
I never could figure out why I would want to be a medium and an accountant.
Mm.
And now I have the tangible proof to say that it is part of all of me. It's not one thing over here and one thing over here. It's all of me.
Mm. And it makes sense that it's medium work that you've gone into, because your primary archangel realm was with Archangel Michael, which is the third eye and divine vision. And I think, 49% working with Archangel Michael. So before I told you that, were you working with Archangel Michael? I can't remember. Did you feel connected?
Only on the heavy duty stuff.
Yeah, protection.
But when I opened up my mediumship circle, I never called him in. I know that he was a protector, but he's not one of my primary guys that I go to.
Yeah. And then when we looked at you, it's funny that you got Archangel Michael, third eye, and then when I looked at which of the clairs was strongest for you, it was clairvoyance, which of course is the third eye, and mediumship. But it's also the realm of truth. So people in this realm, the truth is very important to them. And if you spot that somebody's not telling the truth, it says of people in this realm that they're very quick to pull them up on it. Are you like that?
Absolutely, yeah. I've learned in the mediumship to kind of cool that down a little bit, because that's just a different element. But in the accounting, it's like, no, wait, that doesn't make any sense. The numbers don't show that. Or now I don't have to hide through the numbers. I can say, no, that doesn't make sense. Explain that. And I don't feel like I need a backup of why I am calling someone out on their.
That's because you are seeing clearly what's real and what's not through your third eye, because Archangel Michael is helping you and to see that. Now, when we looked at your psychic abilities, and I always say to people, sometimes these are ones that you can't use in this life because we're on a 3D planet. So like moving objects, I can't remember what that's called. I think it's telekinesis. We can't do that in this dense 3D. You do have the skill to do it. It's just that we're on a 3D planet, and you would have done it in past lives. So what came up for you was biokinesis, which I've forgotten what that is. I'll have a look in a minute, unless you can remember. Psychic surgery and water dowsing. And psychic surgery, we can actually do on this planet. And I always give the example, this is things like when shamans pull out dark energies of people's auric fields, or Reiki is psychic surgery, because we're going over and we're working with energy and pulling things out, or maybe stirring things. That's psychic energy. So that is one of your skills. And I can't remember if you knew that.
I did not know. But I think in a couple more years, I will start to really dive into that, because
Yeah.
it's so fascinating how to heal the body.
Yeah, definitely.
And the psychic surgery is so important to someone's evolution. If they can't, especially with all the modern medicine doesn't always heal the body.
Exactly. And biokinesis, I've remembered now, it's actually the ability to kind of manipulate DNA, which kind of goes hand in hand with psychic surgery. So I see people do this. So first of all, explaining about DNA, we've only got 2 of our 12 strands of DNA activated. And the theory behind that is that negative soul groups turned off 10 of our strands to keep us awake, asleep in this 3D energy. So an example of what you could do if you've got biokinesis skills is reactivate those 10 DNA strands. And I see a lot of people do that with energy when they're working with somebody. I see them do that in Reiki. And just by us spiritually awaken, that can reactivate those DNA strands. So that's biokinesis, which does tie in very nicely with the psychic surgery. So as a soul, that is definitely one of your strengths. And you've done that a lot of times in your past life. So how does that feel to know that?
It's fascinating because the double helix, that symbol,
Yeah.
I gravitate to all the time, and I had no idea why.
Oh, wow, really?
And I had often thought that if I have my spiritual string and you have your spiritual string, and we are connected on the rungs somehow, you're just going up to your spiritual string, coming to my rung and reading me that way.
Yeah. Oh, I remember you telling me that, yeah, when we did the reading.
Yeah.
It's fascinating. Yeah.
Yeah. So how that ties, if that is true, or how that ties to how to heal someone, or how to read someone, or how to connect to someone, it's all so fascinating. So that's just, it sort of solidified my, oh, there's more opportunity to dive into that and learn more and heal more.
Yeah, I can totally see you doing that in the future.
Yeah.
Adding that to your mediumship
Yeah.
services. So just finally, why would you recommend that the people watching this, we're both doing this with our hand lock, have you noticed that? Tuning into each other's energy. Why would you recommend the people watching this get an Akashic reading?
So this style that you do is so informative on many, many different levels. And I have printed out the report that Rebecca gives us and really dived into all of it as I've grown on my spiritual journey. And it just puts all of the pieces together, all your puzzle pieces closer together, so you can identify with them. You can implement them in your own life right now. You can go and explore things that, like the DNA and the psychic surgery, that will really enhance this life, because you're pulling on from knowledge from other lives and other ways that you've been in this universe. And to have that knowledge is just so powerful, because I can turn really the knowledge into wisdom and help more people, for me, but also to identify with myself more and to learn more about me is so enriching my soul now. So I would say anybody that would like a reading, is curious about it, would like to start to dive into their spiritual journey, come get a reading, because it's so fascinating. It's a wealth of knowledge, and it's taken me months to really uncover all of it.
I'm so pleased that it's done all of that for you. It's just fascinating how opening somebody's Akashic records up to them can be so life-changing. And yeah, I put all of it into a document because I do give you so much information. I know a lot of people at the end of the reading, they're like, phew. So I give you a document which I'm now calling the Soul Bible.
Oh,
Yeah, so that you can keep it for life and just keep going back to it. And sometimes I'll tell you something, it might not resonate. Like the last client where I told them they were a whale, like she had no connection to whales, but then 4 months later there was this massive connection that came in.
Right.
So that's why I like you to have the document so you can keep going back and checking it. And then of course I record the session as well, so that you've got, it's an hour and a half session, so it's a big one. So that you've also got that to look back on. And I just love giving all of this information to somebody from the records. And I think in this day and age, there's more opening up in the records for people, because they need it. You need to know what your past life skills, where this is the time to know what you're capable of, so that in our light warrior work, we can kind of bring those skills forward and use them. So, yeah, well, thank you for coming on and chatting with me today and letting people know what you got out of it.
There is more to explore. I've already had a follow-up meeting with you so we can go dive more into different pieces of it. And
Yeah.
I do plan on coming back, and as I grow in my evolution of my spirituality, to have you really just be able to say, here's the next thing I want to work on. Let's dive more into that.
Yeah, we can go in and channel some more lives that are opening up for you as well, and find out more about what's in your records. Yeah. So big thanks, Katie, for joining me today, and I'm sure we'll connect again soon.
Awesome. Thank you very much. And I so appreciate you. You have really catapulted my spiritual journey. So thank you.
You're very welcome.